Hey everybody, it's Jesus with Guys Night Lab, and welcome back to another 5-minute movie reviews. Today we're going to talk about a little movie that came out today called Imaginary. And Imaginary tells a tale of a woman that had an imaginary friend, and she's going back to her childhood home and pretty much confronting her childhood imaginary supernatural trauma or whatever. Yet she doesn't know about it. Anyways, I saw this movie. I saw the preview for this movie, and I was like, oh, okay, it's from Blumhouse. It's, the producers of Five Nights at Freddy's and Megan and everything else. I think it was Megan. But this movie, I wanted to like it, and the first two acts weren't that bad. They were okay. But it just didn't really deliver. The final act and the climax is kind of meh. So the whole point of the movie is this lady is she's like the stepmom to these two kids, and there's like a lot of setup, and I mean it didn't really make sense in a sense because the daughter's mom is revealed. Here's a spoiler, but it's revealed maybe about 30 minutes into the movie that the mom is crazy in a sense, in the mental health ward or psych ward or whatever, and so it doesn't really explain why the mom went crazy or anything like that. And then the lady, she has some recurring nightmares, but she kind of goes back to her old home. Then there's this other old lady, she's the old lady is the one giving all the information on the supernaturalness of what's going on. But the little girl, the stepdaughter that's there, has an imaginary friend who's a teddy bear. And so she's doing all these things, and it's all simple, normal stuff, that imaginary friend the kids do with imaginary friends. But then obviously it starts turning a little darker, a little more cynical, a little more weird. And so there's some parts in the movie where there's some creepy elements, but it's not creepy. There's one thing. Okay, so here's a spoiler. So this is a big spoiler, so I'm gonna let you know right now, if you don't want to, I'd love you to keep watching this and listening to my review, but this is a big spoiler in the movie. The spoiler, here we go, in 3, 2, 1 is the spoiler. So you find out later that the lady, sees the girl with the teddy bear and everything. And so then you find out later that there is no teddy bear. Only the little girl and the stepmom can see the teddy bear because it's an imaginary friend. So obviously the stepmom sees the main character. She sees the teddy bear because it's her old imaginary friend. So there's this big review of oh, that's pretty cool. So all these times she saw the teddy bear, there was no teddy bear. So she's kind of freaking out, looking at her old pictures and videos, and there's no bear. And so it's kind of oh my gosh, that bear is from my childhood kind of thing, blah blah blah. So you're kind of thinking okay, that's a pretty cool reveal, and into the second act, beginning the third act. But there's only one problem with this. In the middle, in the beginning of the movie, not beginning, probably maybe I said 30 minutes into the movie, 35 minutes into the movie, one of the girls, there's a teenage boy that lives across the street, and he comes over and wants to hang out with the girl, the teenage girl. And so what happens is the teddy bear is creeping him out and everything, but he doesn't he kind of reveals himself to the he sees the bear, he sees this, but I'm wait, if only the girl and the stepmom were supposed to see the teddy bear, how come this kid is seeing the teddy bear? I guess there's a little, the teddy bear is hidden under a towel or a blanket or something like that. So maybe it's kind of one of those things where it's well, he didn't actually see him, we just saw the outline of it. But then again, he gets scared by it. So it's really I would say a plot hole, or I guess a movie plot hole or whatnot. But overall, there's the old lady that talks about the imaginary friends occult and all this stuff. None of that really adds up to anything. And the lady, the older lady, she's really bad. I'm not trying to be mean, but she really laid it on pretty thick. We're okay, she has underlying intentions. So anyways, what ends up happening is the girl gets into the imaginary world, and then all these things happen, and then they pretty much escape. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to give away too much. The thing was, like, there was only one person that died in the movie, and it was like off screen, and the scares weren't that great, and the imaginary like elements, like there's just so much more that could have been done. There could have been like a lot of scary ideas of imaginary characters, and a lot of scary ideas of, you know, imaginary things that you can imagine that are creepy, and it just was never delivered as well as it could have been. It was an okay movie. Like I said, I thought it was okay, but not great. But you know, if you want to check out Imaginary and have your own take, go for it. It just seemed kind of like a very middle of the road scary movie. Nothing to really write home about. I'm probably not going to watch it again. It's probably not going to be in any of my scary movie lists. But it's the concept and idea is good. You know, if they make a sequel, then maybe they could fix some of the things that weren't great in this first one. But I like the idea. It just, there wasn't a lot of execution and delivery on this one. The acting was okay. Even the main character, the stepmom, she was okay. She wasn't bad, but she wasn't great. It was just kind of like so. The teenage daughter was probably the best actor in the movie. The little girl actually was really good. But yeah, the old lady, the main character, they were okay. They just seemed a little labored and kind of forced. But like I said, okay movie. Could have been a lot better. I like the idea and the concept, but yeah. Anyways, check out Imaginary if you like, just to get your own opinion on it. It's out in theaters now, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. From Guys Night Lab, I'm Jesus, and I'll see you later.